and welcome to this course on building sales excellence. I am Arun Singhal, your management coach and mentor with 40 years of experience in people development. I started my management journey way back, 40 years back in 1981 when I did my MBA from IIM Bangalore in marketing and finance. I was lucky from there to get into Hindustan Unilever and I worked there as a management trainee and I worked there for 8 years in sales, marketing and general management. I was even luckier to get into Johnson & Johnson after Unilever and I worked there for 16 years in sales, again, marketing, general management and operations. And my last corporate assignment was in a company called Dumex, where we were known more by our brands like Proteinex and Farex. 2007, I started my own business in consulting, coaching, and counseling individuals like you, small and medium businesses, with the sole objective of passing on what all I had acquired over those 26 years to all of you to help you do even better than us. And that's what I've been doing since then. So what are we going to do today in this first lecture, first module of building sales excellence? At the end of this module, what I aim to help you learn is first, we'll try and understand what are the companies, recruiters looking for in a sales professional. And then we will look at what are the excellence requirements in sale. If we want to acquire sales excellence, we need to understand that, right? And then we will look at a brief overview of how can you do each one of them in an excellent way. A very quick overview because rest of the lectures will be dedicated to each of those being covered in detail. So what do you think? Let's start with little conversation. So what do you think they're looking for in sales roles? Take 5, 10, 15, 30 seconds and note down on a piece of paper, pause the video if required, and come back and tally notes. Wonderful. So let's look at what my understanding is based on the variety of roles I've seen over last, say, 40 years. What are they looking for in the sales roles? And there's a variety of things. You see a reasonably populated slide here, and the essence of that starts with meeting and exceeding sales targeting, developing strategies for the territory assigned that you're handling sales of, and territory here could mean anything for that matter. It could mean a district, it could mean a whole country as such. It also, then we talk about them asking for, can you achieve the company sales goals across customer base? You have large number of customers, can you achieve all the sales goals across the customer base? Also, I have seen the mention of drawing account-based strategies specific to certain accounts. Can you draw a strategy? New client acquisition is one essential piece of sales excellence, sales role as such. And in that, there are various subparts of that: identifying opportunity, lead generation, qualifying prospects, conversion of lead, presenting company, financial analysis of your product, delivering compelling value propositions, and we will talk about that very important piece, creating sales proposal, negotiate. So that's all part of, new client acquisition. Then once you get a client, obviously, then you are required to maintain high level of customer satisfaction, develop strong relationship with these clients, and use that relationship to grow high quality, profitable, and broad-based customers with existing clients. Also, there are things like sales dashboards and new opportunity identification. These are a variety of things. You see a lot of things on our plate from a sales role, and it's a wonderful role. It gives you such a wonderful experience in life. I, being myself a sales professional, I can say with all prejudices in favor of sales role, there's no better role than being in sales. So what are the excellence requirement in sales? If this is what people are looking for in sales roles, what is excellence requirement? What is it that you do so well that they'll say, yeah, you are excellent in sales? Want to think about it? Come back after 30 seconds. Note down on a piece of paper. All right. So let's look at what are the excellence requirement in sales. And I'm going back to the same sheet. Out of that, if you can do few things, then you are qualified to be excellent in sales. The most important thing is exceeding sales target. Any excellent salesperson or professional must not only meet but exceed the sales target. And here, when we're talking of exceeding, we are talking of an excellence way, exceeding like 120%. And I've handled lots of sales professionals and I've given them excellent rating when they are around to 120% of their sales targets. And not easy target, but reasonable target. Second thing, it's not only good enough to exceed sales targets by that 120% over the base target, but also do it with the thinking in your mind. You must have a strategy that you have developed and executed for your territory that has resulted in this overachievement on your sales target. Third thing that you also must be able to do it, not only achieve your sales targets and develop strategy, but also achieve company goals. Company will have a lot of expectation from sales team. So you must be one of the few who can achieve all those company goals across majority of your customer base, majority. Also, a new thing that has come up in it wasn't there 40 years back, but it has now been, it's a wonderful thing, is called account-based strategy. For your large clients, do you have a strategy for each one of them? This has started happening because now we see very, very large clients developing across, and for them you need to give individual attention. An important part of an excellent salesperson is also to continuously acquire new clients. So how can you acquire new clients in an excellent way? If you have, let's say, what is called leads, if you have 100 leads, how many can you convert into that? An average salesperson may do 5 to 10%, but an excellent salesperson goes to 15, 20, 25%. 25% is the best benchmark I've seen. And that comes from my experience with Volkswagen, Maruti car companies. The sixth thing we can say about developing excellence, what is required for excellence in sales is developing strong relationship with clients. And we will define relationship. Relationship means having, when you reach them, you meet them, you offer a cup of tea, you ask to sit down rather than standing and turned off from the door itself. And also you get the business that you're looking for, and we will define that in a lot more detail. And finally, how can you grow these strong relationship clients, which are high quality and profitability, to continue to grow your business? So that is as I understand, the excellence requirements in sales. Make sense? Okay, so let's look at the next question. How can you do each of them, these 7 things, in an excellent way? Are there tools and technique, methodologies that you can use, or you have to be entirely based on intuition? There are tools and techniques, and I'm going to quickly touch on each of them, and that is what this course, and cover them in the rest of the course, and that's what this course is made of. So let's look at the first thing. The first thing is, how do we exceed sales target? And a tool that's extremely useful for that is what is called a Deming's wheel or a PDCA cycle. This comes from operations and field, but this is a wonderful tool. PDCA standing for plan, do, check, and act. And it was invented by Deming, the quality Deming that we all know. And we will talk about this in one of the lectures about how can we use the Deming's wheel to exceed, not only meet, but exceed sales target. The second excellence requirement is develop a strategy. So how can you develop a strategy? What does a strategy mean? And this, I bring in here my knowledge and experience from Johnson & Johnson, 16 years. And we develop strategy for each of our regions, from each of our major customers around the year, around those for 16 years. And it basically consisted of developing an annual sales plan, as you see on the screen. It talks about setting goals and objectives, strategies, key projects. So it's a whole plan of how will you achieve and exceed that sales target. So you develop a sales plan that says, hey, this is my sales target. This is how I'm going to achieve it. And these are the key things I'm going to do. And these are the timing. And this is who will do those things. So that's how, and we will again talk about in a lecture on dedicated to this. In fact, there are probably 2 lectures dedicated to this. Yes, I think there are 2 lectures dedicated to that. The next thing, let's talk about how do we achieve sales companies' goals across the customer base. And we will talk about a process that you see on your screen, which basically talks about starting with understanding business unit strategy, understanding your roles and responsibility in that strategy, drafting and aligning your annual goals with your manager, immediate manager mostly, and cascading your goals down into your client specific strategy. So there's a 4-step process. And again, there is a lecture dedicated to that. The fourth thing is, how do you draw that account-based strategy you saw being talked about, client-specific strategies. So again, there we will talk about the same process of objectives, goals, key projects, and responsibility and timing by setting goals, by identifying enablers and barriers, selecting some of them as key strategy, and converting your strategy into action plans. And instead of doing for the whole territory, this will be done for your major clients. And we will have a lecture again dedicated for that. New client acquisition is a big process, and there is a process, and I learned this process in my working together with Volkswagen. It's a wonderful process. A lot of great companies worldwide use this. I've seen them being used by a lot of car companies, also a lot of equipment selling companies, and I don't know about others, but these are the ones know. And so we will talk about this 9 step process that you see here. I will not take you through each of these right now, but we will talk about this. And this is a process that you use. You can convert, you can change your conversion of leads from an average of 5 to 7% to as high as 25%. So it's great potential for excellence in selling. The sixth thing we will talk about, how do we develop strong relationship, and we will talk about some of the learnings again from Volkswagen here. What should be done, and it could be as simple as visiting customers, talking to them, thinking about their business, ensuring that the whatever you supplied is working well, and making and developing personal relationship in that context. And we will talk about how do we do that in a lot more detail in one of the chapters again. The last thing is a part of developing excellence in sales is growing that high quality, profitable, and broad-based relationship with existing clients. And we will have another lecture in which we'll talk about how do you do that, starting with identifying such clients, developing client-specific strategy, and implementing those plans, and use this whole thing to keep growing your business and exceeding your goals and targets, right? So what did we learn in this module? So we learned in this module is sales excellence requires you to do the many things, about 7 things in an excellent way. And this is like not only meeting but exceeding sales target, developing strategies for the territory, achieving company goals across customer base, drawing account-based strategy. And we saw it coming couple of places. So one of the important things, and this is also what is called key account management. Developing new clients, acquiring new clients, and we saw a 9-step process for that we will talk about in more detail. Developing strong relationship with clients and growing high quality, profitable, and broad-based relationship with existing clients. And excellence requires each of these to be done in an excellent ways, and we are going to learn about those excellent ways. So what is in it for the next module for all of us? So we start taking a deep dive into our first tool of the Deming's wheel or the PDT cycle, which will help us learn how to meet and exceed sales target using the Deming's wheel. So thank you so much for listening to this first lecture on introduction of building sales excellence, and where I hope you are beginning to enjoy and you are eagerly looking forward to understanding each of the tools and learning in becoming excellent in sales. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you again.